What's up, everybody? This is Lola, and you are welcome to Mixtape of My Life. It doesn't matter how old you are, what musical generation you belong to, or what your tastes are in music. We all have pivotal songs that take us back to key moments in our lives. So join me as my guests chronicle their lives through music, evoking long forgotten memories and stories that have shaped or influenced their lives. All right, I'd like to welcome everyone to the fourth episode of Mixtape of My Life. We have with us today a very special guest, Kunmi Odufuye. Kunmi, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Atinuke. How are you? I called you your government name, like I'm calling, like how your mom will call you.
Yes, it's only my mom that calls me Atinuke.
There you go.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So we're just going to talk briefly about who Kunmi Odufuye is. Am I pronouncing your surname well? I've been struggling with it, Odufuye.
There you
Is
go.
that correct?
Hmm.
Okay. No, I'm sorry about that. Okay, so apologies. Okay, so we'll start with Kumi. I know that you're a licensed architect, certified project management professional, certified edge expert, right?
Hmm.
And the list goes on. And you've also been involved in several huge projects. I won't let's not bother you with going through all that. Several huge projects over the years, and but there's one that stands out to me. You were part of the five-member team at the Unleash 2017 Co-Creation Conference in Denmark.
Hmm.
Yeah. And you were first prize winners for
Yes, we were.
your business idea called Demolition for Design. Can you tell us about that? Must have been an exciting time for you.
Yeah, it was. As you rightly said, I'm an architect originally in the creative space as well,
Mm.
in the construction industry. So basically, it was this thing where they invited like 1,000 people from all around the world, geniuses, to come together to address the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Yeah, there you
Great.
go, the SDGs. So I was part of a team of, there was an architect, Nicholas, who is, maybe just to summarize, but an architect, Nicholas, who is from Denmark, an engineer from another engineer from Denmark, Gitte, a PhD candidate from Australia, and
Mm.
another lady, Zoe Bisbalco, who was she was French. So what we basically said was that, you know how you demolish a building and you always throw that waste into like sand landfills. We
Yeah,
now decided
sustainable
to create
reconstruction. Yeah, yeah,
exactly in
yeah,
construction. So we
yeah.
realized that no matter where you are in the world, whether you're where Zoe lives in San Francisco or where Kumi lives in Nairobi, Kenya or Lagos, Nigeria,
Mm.
anytime you demolish a building, that waste goes somewhere. So we decided
Mm-hmm.
to create a plugin through BIM, Building Information Modeling, where if, for
Mm.
example, at Tinuke's office, you guys are designing a skyscraper in
Mm.
London, you know where you can find demolished concrete, you know where you can find doors and windows from another building. So as you're designing, you're able to click and pluck all these items and put it into your
Mm.
model and then pay for them at the same time. So basically,
Mm.
we're the Amazon for sustainable development in the building ecosystem. Yeah, so demolition for design. That's the idea that we came up with. And we won first prize. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
Right.
So I mean that sustainability is a huge thing now with even in the UK, especially in the UK too as well. So I understand. And but the thing is that Beam has so many like thousands of plugins. How
Mhm.
far did you guys go with with actually actualizing this idea?
And that's a good question. We came up with this idea in 2017. That was 7 years ago. This was before AI. You know, now with ChatGTP, with all these apps, with what artificial intelligence is doing, you can do almost anything. But what we first needed to do to test it was we needed to get a drone. We needed to scan numerous buildings all around our various cities where we each five members of D4D reside. That the problem was very capital intensive because we're trying
Yeah.
to do this idea at the same time, do our 9 to 5s. So we sort of maybe parked it for a while. We weren't able to because we needed to do a lot of research. We needed to build a team, and the whole thing was very capital intensive. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So because you hadn't cut the check, yeah, 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 yeah. If you had just cut that check, yeah, we would have done it. But we,
Yeah.
we sort of put it on
Yeah.
hold for now. But it's a great idea, and
Okay.
I think it's something that we'll probably still revisit. Like you said, sustainability is a very, very big thing in this day and age.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. That's good. So we've spoken with Kumi, the architect. Let's have a quick chat with the artist, the
Mm.
most creative. Is it the
There you
most
go.
creative or just most creative?
The most creative, because there's
The
only
most
one and
creative.
only.
Wonderful. So let's talk about your musical journey, your
Yeah.
love for hip hop. There's this thing, this question I've always wanted to ask. I don't know if you watched Brown Sugar. Have you watched
Mhm.
Brown Sugar with Tay
Um.
Diggs and
Yeah.
Senna Lathan?
Okay.
There's this question she asks, and I've been dying to ask someone this question. When did you first fall in love with hip hop?
Yeah.
Yay!
That is a powerful question, man. I swear. Can't the idea of it, because people don't realize, maybe I'll rant for a minute. People don't realize how powerful that music platform is. For me, growing up watching NWA and Tupac and watching, I didn't sell drugs. I wasn't a gangster, but I could relate with what they were talking about: being oppressed, being a minority
Mhm.
in a system that has thrown you away. But then the only voice that you have to express to the entire world is through a medium of poetry and music.
Yes.
Powerful. So for
Yes.
me, the first time it was my brother. I can't remember. I think I was in primary school, and my brother was in secondary school at the time. And then at that time, without giving out my age, anyway, at that time, they used to like record songs on like cassette tapes and
Yes.
send it to Lagos, or you record it from maybe UMTV Raps. So my brother was
Yeah.
playing LL Cool J, I Need Love. I'd never ever heard music in that way. Yo, he wasn't singing, he wasn't doing a ballad like Bobby Brown, or but he was poetry. He was just talking and he was speaking and he was rhyming and he was going on and he was telling a story. That's when I first said, "What is this thing?" So that's when I first fell in love with hip hop, man. I was listening to LL Cool J's
Wonderful.
"I Need Love." Yo, that was like
Oh,
a
so
transformative experience for me, man. Totally.
wonderful. And you guys, I mean, went ahead, you and your brothers
Yeah.
went ahead to form a musical group, Gospel According to Rap. You even had, you released an album, Hit Me With
Yes,
16,
we did. We did.
2011.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
Okay. I
We
mean,
did.
so, and then that, you guys all went your separate ways again after that. So that has been, I
Yeah, we
mean,
did. I mean, with Gospel Country Rap, it sort of brought us together because we all love to express ourselves in music. And then at the time, we didn't find like, I feel hip hop has changed. Not that it's bad, but it's just
mm,
evolved in a different way to appeal to the new to people in whichever shape, art, or form. So at the time, we felt like, I mean, we used to listen to Lost Boys, Heavy D and the Boys, Ghetto Boys, Tribe Called Quest, Moody Love, Queen Latifah. So we need to be able to relate to that kind of music, but at the same time express it in that realm of
your, yeah,
Christianity and religion. So that's why we actually
yeah,
came up with Gospel According to Rap. But it
yeah.
was fun, man. I mean, I was listening to that today. I was like, bruh.
Well, okay. And I know you've done a lot of cover songs over the years. I mean, but your latest being the cover of Ashake's Lonely at the Top,
Mm.
which brings us beautiful video, by the way. I loved it. I mean,
Thank you. Thank you.
um,
Thank
yeah.
you.
So it brings us to your first song, Ashake Lonely at the Top. Yeah,
Mm.
from your
Yeah.
second studio album, Work of Art. What is it about this song that's special or speaks to you?
Yeah, it's just the words. I mean, just the line, lonely at the top. I feel for anyone who is a creative or anyone who has like a vision or an idea, it's almost like you are isolated in the sense
Mm-hmm.
that no one understands you, right? No one
Mm-hmm.
understands your vision. Someone said
Mm-hmm.
that when God reveals to you who you're supposed to be, it wasn't a conference call. It was just a revelation from you and him.
Yeah.
So like when Einstein was doing physics or when this guy created the light bulb, they thought he was mad. Or when Steve Jobs started with Apple and iTunes and said 1,000 songs in your pocket, people really don't understand, the gravity of the vision that you have. So it gets very isolating as a
Yeah.
creative. It gets very lonely.
Yeah.
And the higher you climb, the bigger your dreams, the more isolated that you feel. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
lonely at the
I
top.
can. I can imagine. I mean, I'm curious to know what's your creative process like when doing these covers. What inspires you to do a cover
Yeah,
for a particular song?
yeah, and that's great. A great question. I don't call them covers. I just call them remixes because I don't actually because
Remixes, yeah. So
yeah,
okay, a twist
twist.
on yeah.
Yeah, it's the most creative twist because it's my rap. But we are working on an album, and but anytime I hear these
Mhm.
songs, it goes into my head and the words keep coming to me in my sleep. And I
mm,
just, it's like if I don't write it down, I go crazy. The reason why we call the series Hip Hop Chose Me is not because
mm.
it's not the someone said that who are you that hip hop chose you? What do you mean by hip
Yeah,
hop chose you? Who do you think you are? But nah, it's like I didn't choose these words. These
mm,
words chose me, right? So when I hear
mm,
a song and it resonates with me, and
yeah,
I see the words in my sleep, I see the words when I'm in the bathroom, I see the words when I'm at work, and I just have to release it and then write it
yeah,
down. So the creative process is fun when I'm actually writing down the songs. When I'm
yeah.
recording it, it's like it's a horrible experience because I have to get it right because there's a lot of pressure. Well, this song is by such and such artist who is so big and popular. Am I going to
Mm,
destroy it? Am I going to make a mess of it? So there's that pressure, you know, when I'm creating it. And then when we're shooting the videos, there's that anxiety to be perfect. But
mm,
so the creative process is stress. I always say that it's
mm.
horrible, it's terrible, this is shit, this is the worst thing I've done. But then after a while, I leave it for like a week or two and come back. I'm like, oh, this is
Come
actually
back to
not
it.
bad, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's almost madness actually. It's madness. Genius is genius is borderline madness. It's borderline insanity.
it
Borderline
is. It
insanity.
is. Oh,
Yeah.
that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Okay, let's move on to your second song,
Hmm.
Tupac Shakur,
Yeah.
Dear Mama, from his album Me Against the World,
Yo,
1995.
there
One
you
of the
go.
greatest rappers of all
The
time.
greatest rapper of all time. Point of
The greatest
correction.
rapper of all time. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So you're not in the big Notorious B.I.G. Let's start like, comparing the
Nah.
two. Nothing, there's no comparison, nothing
No,
like
Biggie
that.
is great. Biggie is one of the greatest. But
Okay.
in my
Okay.
opinion, Pac was just something else, man. He was a prophet in his own time. He's like he could see into the future. And then he used music to express humanity. For somebody in his position to talk about his relationship with his mom and to be that vulnerable and people in prison, thugs. I was at a barber once in Lagos. This guy was cutting my. I said, man, anytime I hear Tupac, I feel just one key person.
Yeah, because it's mostly synonymous with gangster rap and violent lyrics. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but then
this
but
detour was strange. Yeah.
yeah, but then to now
Yeah.
bring your and every man, male species on earth has a connection with his mom. Is a deep thing, spiritual, and to now express it the way he expressed it in music, for me was
Mm.
just so great. And for me, because my parents were divorced when I was 14, so I was
Oh,
mostly
really?
primarily raised by my mom.
Okay.
So when he
Didn't
says
know that.
I finally understand for a woman, it's not easy to raise a man. Man, it was like it was talking to me. So yeah,
Wow.
that's why anytime that song comes on, it's so profound for me, though.
I
Really
mean,
profound.
single motherhood is not easy at all.
Yeah, there you go.
But to have
There
a,
you
yeah,
go.
because
There
I'm a
you go.
single mom.
There you go.
I'm a single mom, but I have a daughter.
There
So
you go.
I think will I say it's easier?
Mm,
I think it's easier. But to raise a man, I
yeah.
mean,
For a woman
I
to
can
raise a
imagine.
man.
Yes.
And then the greatest, yeah, and I don't know how much time, but the greatest man, I'm just going to digress for 1 second. The greatest man
No problem.
raised by women. Trevor Noah was raised by his mom. Barack Obama was raised by his mom. Fela Kuti
Okay.
was raised by his mom. Burna Boy's manager
Oh,
is in taking
yeah,
his,
Fela Kuti was raised by a mom, of course. Who
yeah,
else?
Burna Boy, I mean, where he is now in his
Yeah.
career, his mom manages him, right? So that, I mean, they
Mm.
instill, you can see the relationship that they have. Someone said behind every great man is a woman. I don't necessarily think it's his wife. It's his mom. It's his mother, the mother.
Yeah, yeah. So I understand why that song is so special. Okay. All right. Let's move on to your third song. Yeah?
Okay.
Coldplay, Viva la Vida,
Viva la
from
vida.
the album Viva la Vida or Death and All His Friends.
Yeah.
What's the name for an album? What is it about this song?
I think just the spirituality of it and what he was saying and how melodious it is and how impactful anytime they sing. It's when those words come off to say. Well, the time I was actually listening to it a lot was when my daughter was just born. And it says, for some reason I can't explain, I hope St. Peter won't call my name. And it's just
There's references to Catholic religion, and yeah, what does it mean
it's
by that?
really religion, it's spiritual, it's pop, it's deep, and it's like being at the biggest point of your life. I feel like if I could rule the world.
Mm.
So for me it was just really profound. Excuse me. Yeah,
when your daughter was born. Yeah.
it's just a great, it's just a great work of art. That song, from the melody to the composition
Mm-hmm.
to when they now take it to choir. Oh, whoa, whoa, is a concert filled theme song
Yeah,
where it
Coldplay
doesn't
has
matter.
a lot of songs like that.
Exactly. Doesn't matter if you're German, Spanish, Italian, Vietnamese, Kenyan,
Yeah,
Nigerian, Yoruba.
yeah,
Whoa! Everyone sings along, and you can relate with it,
yeah.
and it's like taking you to that like celebratory, like victorious, part of
Mm,
like the whole anthem. I love that song. I can listen to it like every
yeah.
day. Yeah.
And I was researching on it as well, as in such deep meaning, as in I know Frida Kahlo. So it was from the idea. He said the idea was from the Mexican artist Frida Kahlo.
Oh, nice.
So she had this huge painting that she had, and that was the name of the painting, Viva la Vida. And she was actually, the irony of it all was that she was suffering from polio and a broken spine, and she had been suffering from chronic pain for over a decade. And the irony was that she put that huge painting in her house called Long Live Life. I mean,
Wow.
so he just loved the boldness of it. That was why he picked that and made a song out of it. Or they picked it. Let me not call Chris Martin. I don't know. Every time I think of Coldplay, I just pick out Chris Martin and forget that it's actually like the
It's a
whole
group.
band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get
Wonderful,
that too.
interesting. Yeah, interesting story behind that. Okay, I think we're doing well. We're 60 minutes in, and
Hmm.
we're on your fourth song, Seal, Love Divine from the Seal 4 album. What type of emotions does this song evoke?
So when I finished, I graduated from uni.
Mm.
I had an opportunity to go to Kaduna.
Mm.
After my youth service was completed, I was in Karu local government in
You
Pambingwa
were in Kaduna. What year are we
in
talking about,
Kaduna.
please?
This was in 2004.
Where was I?
2004. This was 2004. 20 years
Oh,
ago.
really?
Yeah.
I must have left. My parents were still in Kaduna, but I had left for school, for university, for NYC or something. Okay, yeah, NYC. No, that was even after NYC. Yeah, but oh, that's interesting that you were in Kaduna, Karu.
Yeah.
Yes, I know that place. Yeah.
Yeah. I was in
Okay.
Karu local government, Pambingwa. I was working for the local government office as an architect. I'd concluded my youth service. And then there I was with the certainty of a job to continue to like help and serve and maybe settle down in another state and see how I'll build my career from there. But in Lagos, there wasn't that great. There was prospects, but at the same time challenges. And there I left the village in Karo local government in Pambigo, and I was in the city in Kaduna. I was staying with my cousin. I was lying down on the bed, and I was trying to figure out what am I supposed to do next with my life. What
Hmm.
is the next thing? What am I? Should I stay? Should I go? I'm in a foreign country, or foreign state, in a foreign city.
Reference.
As someone who grew up in Lagos, and then right next door, the my cousin had a guest in their house. It was like a 5 6 bedroom house. This guy was
Mm-hmm.
playing a song, and it was loud. It was so loud, it woke me up. And he played it, and it was on repeat. And he played it, and he played it over and over. And the song was Seal. It was Love Divine. And there's a part in the song where it breaks down. It says that love can help me to know my name.
My
And I don't,
name. Yeah.
and
What does that mean?
I don't even know for me what it meant for me when he said love can help me know my name, as in
Mm.
who I am, what I'm supposed to do, where I'm supposed to be, and who I'm supposed to be. And then those are home that I've left at home, my loved ones, my family, my people, my friends, my community that I've left at
Yes.
home. And he says that
Yes.
he kept on saying that, and he ends by saying, "Love can help me know my
Mm.
name," and he kept on going on and on. This guy he was going to work and he was on repeat. It's like it was telling me, "Bro, it is time for you to go home." You know,
Mm.
anytime I'm down, anytime I'm in a really bad mood and I just play that
Mm.
song, it's like so intensely spiritual. Because I felt like I
Mm.
was at a very, very low point where I didn't know what to do or where to go to. And it was like a
Mm-hmm.
direct message that, bro, get up,
Mm.
pack your things,
That's quite
and
interesting.
go
And
home.
again, the power of music and power of lyrics,
Power
because
of music.
thousand people would interpret this song and take these songs differently. You understand? And
Exactly.
interpret it differently. But that's what that song did to you at that point in your life, and that's
And
interesting.
is that what music is? In music, like people interpret it in different meanings and in different.
Yes. Yes.
part of it could be a love song. There's some songs that you heard when you were
Yeah.
broke, when your heart got broken. You don't want to hear that shit ever again. Sorry for my
Yeah,
French.
because
You don't
when
want
I
to hear
thought
that
you
thing.
said,
Yeah.
yeah, and thinking, I thought it was going to be a love story, actually. Can you imagine? And it
Oh,
turns
you
out that
see?
the opposite,
But
exactly.
it actually
So,
is a love story. It's a love story.
a
It's a
love
love
story
for
of your,
family,
yeah,
love for friends.
and for
It's actually
yourself,
a love
yeah, yeah.
story.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. Yeah, it is.
Love
Okay.
story.
All right. Wonderful. Um, we're going to your fifth song,
I think we've covered
LL
it
Cool
all.
J.
Yeah. I think we covered that in the beginning.
Yeah, we
Um,
did, but well, we have to go deeper.
okay. All right.
I Need Love. You said that was what introduced you to hip hop, right?
That is
That's
what,
what you said
yeah, that's what made me fall in love with hip hop.
with hip hop.
And then listening to the song, and then the tune, dun, 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 you expect to
I Need
hear
Love.
Prince. Yeah, you expect to hear Prince or Luther Vandross coming, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom, or Commodores or Jackson 5. But you now hear this poetry, and then the bass now comes in tutum, tutum, and
I
then he
think that
keeps
was the
talking.
first of its kind in
Yeah,
yeah.
hip
I
hop
mean that
ballad,
slow. I mean,
hip hop
not
ballad.
like the yeah
Yeah,
ballad. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Hip hop
and then
ballad. Yeah.
yeah, and then what he was talking about, how he was a love song. But it
Mm,
wasn't your typical, maybe later on with music, end of the road, or I'll make love to you,
yeah.
or Michael Jackson's Liberian Girl or whatever. It was just
Hmm.
like poetry, and it was talking about how he likes this chick. And then every word he was saying, he was rhyming with the next word. And what now really blew my mind was when I now saw the
Mm,
video. I'm like, yo, this guy's like 16, 17 years old, you
mm.
know? And then he's a great guy, good looking guy. And then he's just so deep in his feelings. I'm like, yo. So for me, yeah, LL Cool J,
I
I would
think
say he's one of my top five, but he's one of my top 10 for sure. Sure.
there he's up there. I mean, the things I remember about him. I mean, my favorite track would be "Hello, Hello, Hey Lover." That of all
Yeah,
time. That's I love it. I love that song. And then he's out with a new album as well.
yeah.
Have you heard it?
I've heard they had the one with Eminem, and then he's trying to
Ooh,
prove, because I remember Andre 3000 came and said he's not gonna rap again because hip hop is only if you're hip. And Ella was like, nah, you can continue to express yourself in that genre and art form, whichever way you feel. And then he's doing it. Not only is he
mm,
doing it, he's doing it great. And he's like saying that this whole fad of say, because I'm gonna rant for 1 second. I mean, Bruce Springsteen was like he's in his 60s, 70s, and he's still doing music. John Bon
yeah,
Jovi's in his 70s.
yeah,
Aerosmith, they're still doing
yes,
music. All these rock
yeah,
bands are still doing music. They're filling out concerts and they're making a lot of money. But you're saying because you're doing
mm,
hip hop, nah, this guy is too old to do music. Well,
nah,
you're too
nah,
old to create. You're too old to express yourself, and you can't, as a hip hop artist or fan in your 40s or 50s, because hip hop is 50
mm,
years old.
yes,
You're not gonna be able to relate as much with everyone else as the younger artists. Travis Scott is great. Megan Thee Stallion, they're great artists, but not everyone at a certain level who was listening to, for example, Queen Latifah will not
mm,
relate as much or as well or the same tempo as someone who is really vibing the younger artists. So yeah, man.
yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
happy for you.
LL is the GOAT for sure.
Yeah. And in typical LL Cool J fashion, of course, there's a raunchy track in there somewhere. He always
Yeah.
has to stick that in, apart from, with Sawiti or something. And well, lovely album, lovely album.
LL.
So it was wonderful listening to all your stories and I mean
Thank you
your
so
love
much.
for hip hop.
Thank you.
And we wish you all the best. Yeah, and it's I can imagine juggling your career as an architect and your love for music and hip hop. I mean, it can't be easy at all.
Yeah.
So I mean,
You do the things you do the things that you love.
yeah,
You do the things that
yeah,
you love to keep you sane.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Mhm.
It was wonderful having you on the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And have a wonderful evening. Good luck in all your endeavors. Take care.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Have a great evening. Have a great
You
night.
too, Kumi. Bye.
All right, see you.
And that is a wrap. Thanks for listening, and I really hope you enjoyed this episode of Mixtape of My Life. Don't forget to leave your comments and click the follow button. Again, linked in the show notes for more information. We publish new episodes every Friday. Until next time, ta-da!